So till now you have studied about 8085 microprocessor. So you don't know that how can you write the program for 8085. Okay. So this unit deals with the various types of instructions. With the help of instructions, you can able to write the program for 8085 microprocessor. Okay. Now in general, if you want to design any system, programming will be needed. Okay. Nowadays, there is no such systems designed in that programs are not required. So programming is a very necessary thing to develop a system with the help of with hardware and software. Okay. So you have to know about that how many types of programs are there, how many types of languages are there. So basically, whatever languages you have studied till now, that is high level language. Okay. But all of you familiar with that, this high level language will not understandable by the processor or controllers. So which type of instructions or which type of language the processor will understand? The first question is this: which type of language is understandable by the processor? कौन सी लैंग्वेज समझता है प्रोसेसर? एनीवन हैव एनी आइडिया?
So low level language.
Low level language. Low level language means what? Like high level language there.
Machine coding.
You know the okay, machine coding. Yeah. So you all of you know that in case of high level language, there are so many languages are available like C, C++, Java, Python. These all are examples of high level language. Okay. One where we are talking about the processor, with respect to processor, the processor will understand the low level language, that is machine code. So what is the meaning of machine code? Machine code represents that the information whatever you are providing in the form of either 0 or 1s. Okay. So if you want to write the programs in any language, in lastly you have to convert in the machine code. Correct? With the help of high level language we are talking, then the compiler is responsible for converting the high level language to machine level language. Okay. So same way, if you want to write the programs for 8085, we are using the assembly level language. Okay. Assembly level language. So assembly level language, this is also one type of language is there, assembly level language. In this language, you have certain instructions. Like if you want to study C, what will happen? Some libraries or some predefined functions are there. जैसे you can say scanf, printf. Okay. So these type of library is already available. Now same way in assembly level language, the instructions itself is available. Okay. So there are totally 246 instructions are available in 8085. With the help of these 246 instructions, you can able to write the programs. Okay. So if you want to able to write the programs, it means that with the 8085 processors, we are writing the program in assembly level language. And also this assembly level language is not a machine code. So you have to convert this assembly level language into machine code. It means that either in the forms of 0 or 1. So compiler will be used for the converting high level language to machine code. Same way one device is there that is called assembler. assembler. So assembler is responsible for converting this assembly level language instructions into the machine code or binary code. Okay, so whenever we are dealing with the 8085 processor, we are always using the assembler. Okay, with the help of assembler, all instructions are going to convert it into the machine code. Okay, so if you want to design any systems, then hardware and software. Software means with instructions or with programs. Both things are required for designing a system. So now you can see what is the basic concepts behind the writing of programs. So first you have to understand that what is programs. Okay. So in that programs, the program is a set of instructions arranged in the specific sequence to do a specific task. See, in this case, I am telling that set of instructions. So whenever we are dealing with the assembly level language, we are always talking that in terms of instructions. So if you are arranging so many instructions in one place, it means that you are creating one program. That program will do a job of any type of task. Okay, so the program is a set of instructions which is used for to do the specific task. Now, what programs do? The program tells that processor what it has to do. With the help of instructions or with the help of programs, you are informing to processor what type of action you have to do or you have to perform. Okay, so with the help of instructions, you can give the processor you have to do this type of task. Let us consider you want to add these two numbers 2 plus 2. So with the help of instructions, we are providing the processor that you have to add these 2 plus 2. So the process of writing a set of instructions which tells the processor what to do is called programming. If we are talking instructions, it means that you are talking about the one instructions. When you are combining the instructions and that instructions will do some specific task, that is called programming. So in other words, you can also say that the programming is the process of telling the processor exactly how to solve a problem. So first what you will do when you are going to design any systems, first you have to define that the system, what system will do, what is the application of the system. According to application, we have to write the program so that it performs the required output. Okay. So to do this, the programmer must speak to the processor in language which processor can understand, is called the microprocessor programming. So for the processor, you have to write something so that the processor will understand clearly what you have to do exactly. So there are 4 steps will be involved to writing the programs. Steps involved in programming. If you want to write the programs, then what you have to do? So first you have to do is you have to specify the problems. Which type of problems you want to solve? Okay. So the first thing is you have to find that which task you have to perform. Okay. So if you know the task, which type of task it is, then you go for the next second one. Otherwise, if you don't know the problem, then you can't able to write the programs to solve the problems. Okay. The second thing is designing the problem solution. If you know the problem, after knowing the problem, you also have to know that what is the solution of that particular problem. So during this process, the exact step-by-step process that is to be followed is developed and written down. So whenever you know the problems and what is the solution of that problems. In that problems you have to note it down, which type of logic you have to apply so that you can perform the exact operation. Okay. So next is coding. Whenever you know the solution, that solution converted in terms of coding. Okay. So if you converted the coding, it means that if the program is specified and designed, it can be implemented. Implementation begins with the process of coding the programs. So in coding, what you have to do is, whatever solutions are there, you have to write in terms of coding so that the processor will understand. Anyhow, if processor will not understand, then there is no use of solution. Okay. So for that particular purpose, you have to write all the things in the terms of coding so that you can tell to the processor which type of operation you have to perform. Now, in terms of coding, when we are talking in terms of coding, so the coding is having a set of instructions. It is a combination of set of instructions. Okay. So after writing the coding, you need to verify that the code is correct or not. Means you have to find the error. For finding the error, we are using the debugging steps. So debugging is the process of testing the code to see if it does given task. Okay. So if the program is not working properly, debugging process helps in finding and correcting the errors. So debugging is used for, after writing the code, you have to check it out. This program is performing according to the requirement or not. Okay. So after seeing that, if something will happen, if something you don't get the required output, then you have to modify the programs, and according to the application, you have to write the programs. Okay. So now if you are want to writing the programs and after debugging the programs, so how it will happen? Let us consider this is the processor, microcontrollers. Okay. So if you are writing the code, finally this code is converted into the machine code, and also it is called as hex code. Machine code is also called as hex code. Okay. So this hex code, if you are getting this hex code, then processor will understand what type of operation he has to perform. Okay. So finally, if you are writing any programs in any language, if you able to convert in the machine code, then you can use that type of programs in processor or controllers. Now the next is you have a flowchart symbols. Okay. So flowchart symbols, before the flowchart symbols, before writing the programs, you have to know that which type of operation you have to perform. Okay. For that purpose, we are indicating some things with the flowcharts. Okay. So flowchart, what is the meaning of flowchart? To develop the programming logic, programmer has to write down various actions which are to be performed in a proper sequence. If you able to write the flowchart, it means that you can easily able to write the programs. Okay. So this is a graphical tool that allows programmer to represent various actions which are to be performed. So this graphical representation is very useful for understanding the programming logic and finding out the solution. So which type of symbols you are using generally in the flowchart? So you can see one by one. This is called oval. Okay. So oval always indicates that either the program will start or it will stop. So wherever starting or stopping operations is required, you are using this oval sign. Okay. Now next is arrow. So arrow indicates the flow of directions. What is the actual direction of the flow diagrams? Now this is parallelogram. So parallelogram indicates the input-output operation. Next is a rectangle. It indicates the process operation. Okay. So what is the difference between input-output operation and process operation? Input-output operation means it can use the data from outer side, either from input device or output device. But in the case of process operation, it will take the data. After taking the data, it will do the certain task. That certain task comes under the process operation. Next is diamond. Diamond is always known as for decision making, either yes or no. If you want the result in yes or no, then you can use this. If yes, then this will happen. If no, then this will happen. Now this is double-sided rectangle. It indicates the execution process or subroutine. So execution process is indicated by the double-sided rectangles. Now what is the meaning of subroutine? Okay, so first you know that all of you know instructions. Okay, instructions is a single instructions, multiple instructions. Okay, so if you are combining these instructions, you are forming the programs. Okay, so now when we are talking about the subroutine, it means that it defines the part of the programs. This is a part of a programs, not complete programs. Okay, so for the complete programs, you did not use this double-sided rectangles. When it is in subroutine, then you can use the double-sided rectangles. So subroutine, you can remember only just it is part of program. It is not a complete programs. Okay. Now the circle with alphabet indicates continuation. Let us consider in one page the flow chart will be not completed. For going to the next page, you have to put the circle and you have to write something. Okay, same thing you have to start from the second one. If you written A here, then from the second page you have to write same thing and then you can start with the next symbols. Okay, so this is the process, this is the symbols that will be used when you are writing the programs. Okay, so now this is the examples. Let us consider sample charts is there. This is the start and this is the stops. Ovals are there. Input process parameters, you are defining the inputs. Same call subroutine. When subroutine is required, then you will use this double-sided rectangles, then process, then display result. Okay. So now when this call subroutine is there, it means that whenever you are executing subroutine, so subroutines comes under the two types of instructions. That is one call instructions and second is jump instructions. So with the help of these two instructions, we are using the subroutines. Whenever we will talking about the programs, then I will tell you how can you use the subroutine in the programs. Okay. The basic information regarding the programs and flowchart symbols. The next is you have two instruction sets of 8085. I already discussed that there are 246 instructions are present. You have to learn these 246 instructions if you want to write the programs. Okay, so instructions are simple, but you have to understand it. You have to understand in a proper manner. So if you are dealing with the instruction set, it means that we are dealing with the assembly level language. Okay. So we are using the assembly level language, assembly level instructions for performing the any particular operations. So you can able to see that which type of operations we can do or we can perform. So first you can see that what is the instructions, what is the meanings of instructions. Okay. So the instructions is a binary pattern designed inside the processor to perform a specific functions. Let us consider, I told you there are instructions are there. These instructions somewhere stored in the memory location. Okay. So how these instructions will be understandable by the processor? That is the main task. Okay. So the entire group of instructions that processor supports is called instruction set. There are totally 246 instructions are available in 8085. Each instruction is represented by an 8-bit binary value. If you want to write the instructions, if you want to write any instruction, let us consider I am writing move A comma B. Okay. So if you are writing move A comma B, but in the memory location you can't able to see that is move A comma B. It is written in somewhere 00100 form. Okay. But if this is in a binary, so always it is showing in a hex code. So that is also called as instructions. Whatever instructions you have written in the memory location, that instructions correspondingly the hex code will be saved in that memory location. With the help of hex code, the processor will understand which type of operation you have to perform. Okay. So these 8 bits of binary value is also called as opcode or instructions byte. So this is the classification of instruction set. I have classified in the 5 different parts: data transfer instructions, arithmetic instructions, logical instructions, branching instructions, control instructions. So these instructions you have to study one by one. Okay. So if you have any doubt, you can ask.